Mike on.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We're coming to you live from the Milford Road Esplanade. We're sitting right in front of the I Love Tobago sign. If you look behind me, you'll see the sign right there, and we're so happy to be coming to you. Of course, our set is sponsored by COTECC in Lowlands. Yes, the Lowlands branch of COTECC sponsored our set this morning, and we have to say thank you. We continue conversations this morning in our outdoor studio. Yes, we're still gonna call it a studio. We're gonna be speaking this morning with Miss Makeda Bain. She's a tennis athlete. Yep. Her dad is also here, Mr. Sheldon Bain, and Dunstan the noon coach. And we're talking this morning about something very, very important and a moment for us all to be very, very proud of. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Adanna.
It's of course a pleasure to have you guys here with us this morning on set as we go through this conversation this morning. And we're talking about tennis. A sport that we consider to be, I consider at least to be a prestigious sport, and a sport I wish a lot more young people or persons in general would get involved in. I myself, I'm hoping maybe I could probably swing a racket someplace about, but we're talking this morning about a specific tournament, championship that is upcoming. We call it the COTECC, which means the Caribbean, let me just get it correctly. Somebody help me here this morning. It's called the Central American and Caribbean Region Tournament, tennis tournament.
Good morning, Adanna. Well, what it is Adanna is, Makeda is the number 1 under 14 player in COTECC, which is, to make it simple for everyone, the group of Central America and the Caribbean have a subgroup with the International Tennis Federation. And they have a series of tournaments by region, and the top players tend to be promoted to play internationally versus regionally.
Right.
So one of the biggest things for Makeda, as shy as she is or pretends to be, that's supposed to make her laugh, is that at 12 years old, she's actually number 1 under 14 player in
that category.
In that category, in Central America and the Caribbean. So she has been selected as one of 2 or 3. Is it 2 or 3, Makeda? 2, right. I'm trying to get her talk to her the same time. One of 2 players from the entire region to tour with their team that goes to South America and plays a series of 3 tournaments through Colombia. You can help us out.
Right. But Makeda, you know, I'm happy that you joined the conversation this morning. So softly spoken. How do you feel being selected to play in this tournament?
I feel very proud and excited to have been in this tournament.
And what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to just playing at my best of my abilities.
Sorry?
Playing to the best of my abilities.
How long have you been playing tennis? Because at 12 years old, being ranked number 1 in that region, the Central America and the Caribbean, I mean, I'm sure that a lot of effort has gone into it, and you've been playing for some time. How long have you been playing?
Since I was 4 years old.
4 years old. Wow, that's a long time to be playing. And how has it been your journey in terms of getting you to where you are? The practices, ensuring you get to practice on time, your coach telling you what to do, the sacrifices you have to make. How has that been for you?
It's been tough, but I still managed to pull through with everything.
And why have you managed to pull through?
Because I just had to love the game.
You love it. That's right, and that's exactly where I'm trying to go with this. The fact that you love the game. And I see your coach trying to.
I am one of our coaches, Anthony Williams, who is responsible for the what we call the Tobago zone, who is like what I call the second godfather of tennis. He's one of our main coaches, as is Larry Yearwood. Her father is also a coach, but we are childhood friends, so he asks me from time to time to come in and help. But I am on the executive of the Tennis Association, and I'm not sure with this year, but I was the national junior coach, women's coach, and the national men's coach. So I have a little bit of experience. So sometimes I just jump in to make sure everything is everything. But I come here from a coordination standpoint as a member of the executive of the Tennis Association of Trinidad and Tobago. But as you said, Makeda said she started at 4. That's her father here is a coach and a tennis player since he was around 10 or 11 years old in Shaw Park. So that has also helped facilitate her playing tennis the way she's been playing tennis.
And that leads me to my question also, Dad. The fact that you are a coach and you've been playing for all those years, how did you get Makeda to be so interested in the game? Was it a natural thing for her, or was it because of your influence that brought her into the sport?
Well, I will say both. Not came natural for her, and because when I pick her up from school, we used to head straight to the tennis court. So whilst the bigger ones playing, she would have just been around playing with the balls, and then saw the interest, and she continued from there.
Right, and that is very, very good. The fact that, you know, sometimes we have opportunities that we miss sometimes, and I like the fact that you were able to maximize this opportunity, even though it wasn't deliberate. You saw something there, and the encouragement came, and now here Makeda is now preparing for this tournament, which begins later down in this month. Makeda, you know, you've been a part of this for a number of years. Training, as I mentioned before, you know, making the sacrifices and just loving the sport. In terms of preparation of this tournament, is your training changing up a bit? Do you see that you have to put in more? What is it looking like now for you?
Well, I had to change it just a little bit, but not too much difference, because I was always taking it very seriously.
That's very good. But what are some of the changes that you've had to implement, if you can identify any?
Train more in the morning.
More morning hours. A typical training day, like a training session, what are the hours like for you? Is it an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? What do you do when you train?
2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours. Consistent training.
Yeah.
Right. Additionally, to she would have had to go to a personal trainer for stretching and strength and conditioning exercises, and all of that good stuff. But I'd like to jump in here to note, as we talk about her progress and her accomplishments, which at 12 is phenomenal, to be very honest with you, hailing from the Caribbean, and Trinidad and Tobago more specifically. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child. It's the same with an athlete. One of the biggest benefits or factors that has helped Makeda is her father is an integral role, the coaches there. But even the Tennis Association, the Tobago House of Assembly, the Ministry of Sport, because Makeda has become the #1 player in COTECC from primarily traveling, having tournaments in Trinidad and Tobago. And we would hope that it could come back to Tobago, but we know that there are some challenges with the facilities there, which is a whole other conversation. But I'll just throw in a little statement here to say, one of the biggest things, if we're looking at the business of sport and the advancement of sport professionally, is we need to make sure that we have the standards and specifications for international awards for events to ensure you have the events. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Makeda I know she went to a series of countries. I don't want to say she went to Miami when she already went to Mexico. So maybe you could just tell everybody the tournaments that you've been to, or the countries you've been to.
I've been to St. Lucia, Barbados, Mexico, and what's next?
Suriname, yeah. So you've been to a lot of countries, been a lot of tournaments, and of course, excitement continues to build, especially when you win. When you win again, you feel like if you have achieved something, like all the effort that went into training amounted to something. And even if you don't win, the fact that you get to go on a plane to represent yourself, to represent where you are from, to represent your team, your club, your country, is something that I would commend you for and continue to encourage you. And saying that, my next question leads to, what are you expecting out of the tournament that you're heading into now?
I'm just expecting to play to the best of my abilities and just stay positive.
To just stay positive. And do you, I mean, when you enter a competition, a race, anything you enter, you go in thinking, maybe I could win. Do you have that in your mind?
Yes.
So I want you to continuously tell yourself, I'm going into this with the mindset, maybe I can win. So I'm going to do the winning thing and possibly win. Right? So I want to wish you all the very, very best. But before we go, you know, there's something I want to ask you as well, because a lot of young people might be looking at this program this morning. You have school, you have your chores at home. How do you balance your training, the demands for training, and your demands for school, your demands for home? How do you balance it all to remain successful in everything that you do?
It's easy to balance it because I'm very used to it. Because I see I was playing since I was 4, so it's easy to balance it.
And if you were to encourage a young person right now who wants to get into some type of extracurricular activity, what would you tell them to do?
Just to stay positive.
Stay positive. And of course, I would add to that, build a community around yourself, as Dunstan said. And we usually say on this show here on Tobago Updates that it takes a village. And we want villages and communities to come back together to support the ones who represent us, especially on international stages.
I would want to personally, on behalf of the Tennis Association of Trinidad and Tobago, to commend the THA with respect to the Lalon Gordon Fund and establishing that, and also to thank the Minister of Sport and the Ministry for the funding that they would have provided to Sheldon and Makeda, because without that funding, it would not have been possible for her to travel to those countries, which basically means she would not have had the ranking because she would not have been able to play, although she has the potential, which is clear. And additionally, having the funding for tournaments to be held here, although we are currently at a disadvantage with Trinidad, with the condition of the courts in Shore Park, whereas she has to fly to Trinidad to play a tournament where we could have had international tournaments here. But it becomes very important for sport for us to ensure that we have the capacity with our funding, with our facilities, to have these types of success stories.
And I see the plug there and I support it, of course. And of course, it's the community again rallying around the talent that we have right here in Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Makeda Bain, and she's preparing to participate in an upcoming tournament, and she's ranked #1 in the under-14 of the Central America and Caribbean. So you want to stay tuned for the information that will come as she participates in this tournament to see how she comes out. We're all supporting, of course, as we usually do when anyone of us takes an international stage to represent all of us here on the island of Tobago. So the very best to you and to your team, and we wish for you the very best success in this event and all the other events that you will participate in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have to end the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. Remember, we're coming to you live from the Milford Road Esplanade, but we continue on with GMT, which is Good Morning Tobago. And of course, we want to say thank you to COTECC for sponsoring our set this morning. And of course, we had a lovely time. The sun is now not even kissing me, it's embracing me this morning. I'm sweating on set, but I'm having a good time on the outside this morning. I'm seeing so many vehicles passing by. The people are walking, breathing in the fresh morning air. Those of you who are getting to work this morning, get there safely and do have a productive day. We head on over to GMT next. So as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live.